Coach, obviously complementary football is such a big factor. You forced 5 turnovers in the game, and we're going to start with a play on special teams where, you guys create field position for yourself with tremendous design and then execution.
Yeah, right. So the first thing we were looking to do really in this situation here was stop the return. So Washington's got several returners on the team that are just pure out explosive. You give them a chance to get started, they can really hurt you in the return game, make big plays. What we're looking to do in this game right here is just add a wrinkle or two when the time came up. It happened to be on our first punt. We're really looking to go ahead and add a third gunner. So again, remember, by rules, only the 2 outside players on the snap can leave immediately. Everybody else has to wait till that ball's contacted and punted by Riley back here. So what we look to do right here is just set up a situation to create a third gunner right here. So we put Cam Brown back here at 10 yards deep. And what he's going to do is on the snap, he's going to start and sprint. That should time up just right that when Riley touched the ball with his foot on contact, he should be right around that line of scrimmage and be legal as far as it. What it gives him is he's already at full speed running. So that creates really the 3 gunners going down the field for us to put pressure on that returner and get somebody else in his face. Now, what we got to be alert for in a game like this is, all right, we emphasize O'Reilly as far as changing up some of his punt patterns. Not always hitting a good, pretty punt to these returners who are really good and are used to catching good turnover punts, give them a good start. Want to make them work for it. There's a good job right here of Riley changing up his punt. He's going to challenge the returner on the back end. It's going to lead to a low catch, close to a muff, and then Cam's going to do a really nice job of punching that ball out low. And our guys get down there close to the ball, recover the fumble, leads to a big play for us on a touchdown later on.
So this is almost like the old kickoff, where you have them off the line.
It's very similar to that. We kind of explain to our guys that kind of like playing receiver in Canada, where you can get that forward motion before the snap right there. So we can't move till the snap goes. We kind of call it, hey, Canadian gunner, get them a little bit back deep, and then we move it right there. So we're going to start it right here and just look at the operation and the mechanics of how it comes together for the time. Let's make sure we're doing it legally. So again, we're going to watch Cam right here, all right, in that kind of inverted slot position back there. And on the snap, he's going to get running. So right now when Riley's contacting the ball, you can see he's equal right there across the board with the line of scrimmage, with the officials right there. So he's legal and going, but it's giving that full speed running head start. And then outside, we've got the 2 gunners running down here on the returner. We really want to go ahead and get that third gunner down in the way and just create extra pressure on his face right here. So now that Cam's running here, it just turns a lot to like kickoff, like you're saying right there. He's rolling. And then on the catch, all right, you can see the ball's already starting to trail over a little bit and dip that way for the returner. That's going to lead to him catching this thing low right here. And it's a really good job of Cam recognizing that right there. And as he closes for the tackle, seeing the ball exposed low, and he goes down there and really just throws a left hook right there and knocks it out. Ball on the ground, and it's a good job right here just playing with effort to get to the ball. All right, now Dre Harper coming back around and does a really good job right here recovering the fumble, gets that fetal position we talk about all the time. We got a lot of hats on the ball right there to recover it, but it all kind of starts right there with just a little bit of a change up to get that third guy into coverage, give him something they hadn't seen before, something they haven't prepared for, and puts an extra guy down his face to make a play.
So now we go to the Giants on offense, and you're in great scoring position here. Talk about the touchdown pass to Evan Engram and what made it work so well.
Yeah, so we're in the red area here, so the big emphasis for us is finish this. We got the ball down here this close right now. We got to finish the drive. We love Graham. We like field goals. You really want touchdowns. So we got to make sure we finish by carrying the ball across the goal line instead of just kicking through the uprights every time. But really what starts every play off before anything happens between the quarterback and the receiver, it's all about the line up front. And if they don't give them time, they don't get protection, nothing else is going to happen on the play right there. And this is a great example right here of seeing these 5 guys right here really create a great pocket for Daniel. We talk about protecting inside out, which means keeping these guys running the hump right there and being firm inside to give them a pocket that Daniel can stand right around that area right there, step in the pass and throw an aggressive dart down the field. We're going to start the protection on the side view, then we'll go to the pass and the catch right there from Daniel to Evan. But it's really a great view right here on the side of seeing the depth of the pocket and the room he has to step up right here. The offensive line really creates. And it's just a nice shot right here. He hits his back foot right here, and you see 2 fast, athletic rushers off the edge. But you see both, all right, Andrew and Matt inside out, making sure they got to run the hump right there, that they can't fold back under right here and get to Daniel. And you see that wall built inside with the guards and the center. And just playing right there, they're 3 for 2. If the linebacker added in, they'd bump over and they'd take care of him as well. But what you got to be aware for in these is the 2-man games right here of some kind of pick and a wrap. So those 3 got to work in unison of building that wall and holding it firm. But it's a great shot here of just the room Daniel has to step up right here and throw a good, accurate pass. So none of that happens without these 5 guys doing their job to start the playoff with. It's great inside-out protection from Andrew and Matt. It's great right there to have good anchor and build that wall internally and have a good, firm pocket for Daniel to step up into. Now, This is a play that, guys that were at practice saw something very, very similar happen on Friday, but it's just a throw and catch right here. And what Daniel's looking for right here is just the one-on-one matchup he can work favorably. So right here, he knows Evans matched up one-on-one. They've got post-safety help over top. He's going to push late, but he can also see right here, a lot of defense will shade to the two receiver side, and they'll treat Evan more as a tight end, even though we know he's a hell of a receiver in space, but treat him more as a tight end right there, and they'll shade away from here. And just that little bit of 3-yard separation from middle field to that hash right there is going to take him just far enough away that he can't make that close and play on Evan down the field. So we're going to watch right here as Evan runs his route. He's going to win off the line of scrimmage initially. Good slip inside, and once he makes that move right there, the defender really wants to be outside there because this helps inside. So this is designed to have an inside-outside bracket right there for them defensively with Evan inside. But just a really good job of Daniel driving the ball, and because of the separation from that free safety right there looking to break on it, of really hitting that thing in the hole, and there's not enough time. And that's that difference, really, that space if he played true middle versus favoring that hash to the receiver side. That's a little bit of that separation there that he can't make up by running over top right there. It's a good job being accurate right there and throwing in there over top of the underneath defender and away from the over top defender.
So if the safety at the beginning of the play doesn't cheat over, and let's say he goes to that hash, does that then change the read for Daniel on the off the snap?
Well, it can. It can based on the concept and what it is. Really, into something like this right here we're throwing here is, really Daniel is looking for his most favorable matchup right there. Who does he like in terms of the matchups inside they're giving right there, and then where's the safety cheating right here? Now, a lot of teams will try to bluff this here, and then they'll snap, roll fast over top the other side. So he's got to see it post-snap and confirm what that safety's doing. But if we go to the back view right here, I'll show a couple more details of it, all right? And if you watch Daniel's eyes right here as he looks downfield, so this is pre-snap, he's making all of his mic calls right here. He's communicating who the hot guys will be based on how many guys come off the edge right there. But you see when the ball turns over right here, first thing he checks is that safety. His eyes right now are going right there as that DB's hanging on this hash right here, and he knows right now there's enough timing and separation to let Evan win, slip inside, and deliver that pass right there. So as fast as things happen, as fast as he gets to compute it right there, does a good job of seeing it, sticking his foot in the ground, throwing that thing right there, and again, you get a really good look at the offensive line of how they're protecting inside out right here and making these guys run the hump. And there's Andrew right there, taking that low hip. There's Matt looking right there to take away the fullback. There's that 3-for-2 wall up there. You see Alfred sneaking out right there as that kind of back with no pressure coming from the linebacker there. And that's really a good, clean look at it. But then down the way, the finishing of the play right here, Daniel throwing a good, accurate ball. Evan doing a great job going out there, stretching out. And it's not just that he lays out and catches the ball, but it's in the air, the presence of mind and body control he has to roll his body and make sure this ball does not hit the ground and get exposed right there. So there's no challenge and there's no review that's going to take it away. Really a good shot right there if you see it. I'm going to try and run it back a couple times for you. You see as Evan goes right there and then rolls right there in air to protect that ball from hitting the ground and bouncing out. It's really good body control and good presence of mind of him to control that thing.
And that's something that you also teach and preach, don't you?
We do. We talk about that a lot of times as far as rotating away from the defender, rotating away from the ground. That's something that's harder to practice on a daily basis because you don't want your players just laying out and jumping on the ground all the time. There's some drills you can do with some of those kind of volleyball launch pads we hit in training camp, but this is something you got to kind of hit early on in the season with fundamentals, and they just have to carry it over as they go. But that's really just a natural athlete making a big play.
All right, Washington has opportunities. They played a good second half, Coach. They got back into the football game, but at the end of the day, your defense made the play to seal the game. Talk about the play that Logan Ryan made and the concepts behind it.
Yeah, first off, this is just a great add into the game plan late in the week. This is a Saturday morning deal where normally most teams are just kind of reviewing what they put in throughout the week. And me and Pat talked about it on Saturday morning. He came to me with an idea, wanted to put this defense in. I thought it was a good idea. Our guys are smart enough to handle it right there. We put the check in, we handled it, we got it into the game plan, and that ended up being a big play for us in the game. So the concept of it right here is to be able to play zone defense with a little bit of disguise. And we talked before about, when it comes down to a passing game, it's really all about that guy right there. You've got to find a way to affect that guy. Now, you can affect them with pressure through the pocket, getting them off the spot, or you can affect them with disguise down the field. And really in this one right here, we're trying to get a little combination of both by getting some pass rush on them to flush them out of the pocket. But more importantly, on this back end right here, we want to try and confuse him to not let him know what he's seeing. So the look we're giving pre-snap and what we get him post-snap are two different things. We talked a second ago about Daniel checking the safety and confirming. Well, Alex is doing the same thing on the other side. The difference is we're disguising what we're doing, so when he thinks he knows what it is, When he goes to confirm it, it's something completely different, and now he's confused. It makes him hold the ball and puts him in a bad situation. So we're going to watch the defensive backs really just roll. So as you look at it right here, this really looks more like a single high safety look right here, almost like Logan's shading that hash mark right there, and he's playing the deep part of the field. And what you're going to see when the ball turns over, we're going to get into more of a two deep look right here. We're going to have corners in the flat. We're going to have two deep players over top, and we're going to have a middle hole player right here, as well as the two backers underneath to take away those windows there. So it gives us kind of that umbrella coverage right there, take away the deep part of the field. We're just going to get to it in different avenues right here with the way we rotate. So we're going to watch kind of the movement of the play here post-snap. So you see Logan gets in the middle of the field, but there kind of becomes our two deep players right there. Logan sitting in the middle, the two underneath players are the linebackers, and the flat players are the corners. And when you watch Alex right here, really what he wants to do is get this ball out of his hand as fast as possible. And when he checks to confirm the safety, you can just see right here that little bit of a double clutch tells you he's confused at what he's looking at right there. He thinks he has it on timing based on what he initially thinks the safeties are doing, of where the open window is going to be. And just that pump right there tells you he doesn't exactly know what the defense is. And when he throws it right there, there's Logan sitting in the window. He didn't expect to have a defender in, and that was the big play for us. On the back end here, all right, we're giving a little bit of an overload rush look right here with these three right here. And I want you to just watch Alex's eyes. And again, this is really what tells the whole story based on what we're doing disguise-wise on the back end. So Alex is going to take the ball right here. And again, you see he's checking that backside safety too. He thinks he knows what's going on. What he's not seeing, because he's looking this way here, is he's not seeing what Logan's changed as far as being more of a deep field player to sit in this low hole. And that's really what throws him off. He thinks he knows what's going on with the coverage there. And as he comes on back to this in cut that he's looking to break right here behind Logan, he doesn't see Logan sitting in this hole, and that's exactly where he's going to throw the ball, right where it's going to be intercepted at right there because of the skies. But again, you see his eyes throughout the play and the things he's seeing on his side. He's getting confused by the coverage. There's the double pump. He sees Leonard coming wrapping right there. He knows he's got to throw this thing fast. That puts him in a little bit of a tough decision. He's got to get it out of his hand, but he's not 100% sure on where it's got to go to. And there's the play right there. Logan sitting in that hole. He didn't see him earlier. Just a little bit of disguise, just a little wrinkle we can put on. Kind of ties back wrinkle-wise what we did on the punt team earlier. Always looking to do something, give our guys an advantage, something they haven't practiced for, something they're prepared for, something we can go ahead and opportune time make a play.
All right, so Patrick Graham comes to you on Saturday morning and says, hey, I've got this concept. When a coordinator comes to you and says, I have a concept, hey, let's try to add this in, what are the criteria that go through your mind in talking with them where you say, hey, this is good to put it in, or maybe it's too much?
Yeah, to me, is it sound, number one? Are we just being aggressive, or are we being foolish? So this was a very sound concept. It was aggressive in how we want to do it, so I like that. It's sound, it's aggressive, gives us a chance to make a play, and can the players handle it? Is it something late in the week that ties into something we do already that they can relate it to, and it's easy for them to go ahead and understand and build it in? Or something that's going to be a little bit too much of a change up that we're asking them to learn a whole new concept and technique going into the game that close? This was a good, aggressive, sound call. It was very close to some of the other things our players do. We have smart players who can handle it. Go forward with it. So if Pat, Jason, T-Mac come in at any point, we got to be ready to make adjustments. To me, I don't think there's ever a time that's too late to add something to a game plan. We're going to make adjustments at halftime. We're going to draw things up on the sideline. So if you have an idea, Friday night, Saturday morning, shoot, Sunday morning before the game, if our players can handle it and it's sound and gives us a chance to make an aggressive play, I'm all for it.
Cool stuff, Coach. We appreciate the time as always.
Appreciate it, Bob.